It's my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective. It's my perspective. Yeah, yo, am I wrong or is it just you? Or did my life show me some things that gave me my view? And if I went through what you went through, would I be you? I don't know. That's too many questions with no answer, but plenty chances for many lessons. Am I willing to learn that it's all perception? That the picture that I paint ain't the one that you sketching? So can we disagree without drawing a weapon? Long as I can understand that it's just your perspective. Yeah, it's my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to My Perspective. The main host, Tequila and Lynn, are out today, so you're just stuck with Keone and his rad tad of misfits, and our favorite senior citizen, Big Russ. How you doing, Big Russ?
I'm doing just finer than frog hair.
Okay, I thought you were going to say is a frog's ass watertight out. That's what they say in Texas, but we'll go with finer than frog hair. Well, we're talking about something today that's right up Brooke's alley, so she's going to take over for me. A lot of us love a good horror movie, and a lot of us don't, because some of us get nightmares, but especially those horror movies that have to deal with romance. We know everybody who's being romantic in a horror movie dies, but while you guys are listening to this great conversation, if you have a favorite horror movie, put it in the chat so we can bring it up and discuss it. And without further ado, Brooke, it's on you.
Hey guys, how's everybody?
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Good.
good. I guess we're going to talk about the prom horror movies and like Valentine Day ones. The ones that I think of is Carrie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Boy, that's a good one.
that's a good one. All the remakes, I've seen them.
Yes.
Me
Bloody
personally,
Valentine.
right. Me personally,
Yeah,
I feel like Carrie in specific would have cut down bullying if we had to watch that in school.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, that's just me though. But like, if you saw some of the different repercussions that of which comes about when you push somebody to the edge and it just so happens to go that far, you'd probably stop picking on that one select quiet person that of which wants to keep to themselves.
For real.
That's true.
Yes,
Makes you think.
definitely.
Bloody Valentine, where they go and he murders nothing but the couples on Valentine's Day. Come on. Like that's just killing the mood in all aspects on every level. Like, come on. I'm not gonna it's not that scary, but yet it makes you think, oh well shit, something like that could actually happen. You'd be on a date with your husband and all of a sudden someone's coming after you trying to kill you. Why?
Sarah Horn said, Brooke tried to get me to watch a scary movie once, never again in my life. I'm going to ask a very important question that a lot of people, especially people who look like me and Jackson, always want to ask. And this goes for Brooke and Jenny. Please answer this question. Why do white women always fall in the movie?
Why do we
That
always
would
go
not
up
be
the
me.
stairs?
No. Yeah. Or crawling on the floor once they fall down. Get up and go.
One
Or
thing
go to
I
the
can't
barn that's
stand,
full of nothing but, weapons that'll kill you anyway.
exactly, the main thing that I can't stand is why are you looking behind you? You're increasing the possibility of tripping. If you don't focus on where you're going and what you're trying to do, look at that. All right. Don't worry about how close they are behind you. Focus
Yeah.
on the main task at hand. Stop looking back.
With you on that, Jackson.
Well,
Yes.
every horror movie is the same thing. The girls are running, we get killed first, and it's like, really? Can't something else happen and still be a horror movie? Why does it always have to be the same thing with the same crap going on with the women? Come on. We got to be smarter as women.
Have you also ever noticed that it's the women that make the dumbest mistakes? Like, why are you investigating the weird, creepy, ominous noise that's off in the secluded area where nobody can get to you quick enough?
Exactly.
For real.
Like, no. Uh, Jenny, you're gonna go see Hard Eyes this weekend. I am too. It says your friend down
Yes.
here. Yes, I'm
Yes.
so excited. That will be a nice horror romantic slasher.
The trailer was kind of like, seriously, are we doing this? Okay, all right.
Yeah, the emoji Hard Eyes. I'm not so sure about it, but I like the concept, and I gotta go
Yes.
see it.
Yep.
I would start lying my life off if I was ever in that situation. You can't kill us. We just broke up.
We're no longer a couple.
I just signed the divorce papers.
See, I'm going with my girlfriend, so I mean, I'm single anyway. So why am I going to go into a situation where I'm going to go watch a sappy ass movie when I can get my adrenaline going and have just as much fun? Like, come on. Valentine's Day is not what it's cracked up to be either. So,
It's just a Hallmark holiday that which drives up the sales of chocolates
yes.
and
Yep.
flowers and stuffed animals.
All useless things.
Those
Besides
huge
chocolate, I like chocolate.
stuffed animals that take your whole entire bed up.
Yep.
That's like $80 now.
Exactly.
So, Brooke, which one is your all-time favorite since you're so into all of it?
I like all the scary movies, like not just the romantic slasher ones. But if I had to go with one of those ones, I did watch Valentine from 2011, I think, and it had a couple of different familiar actors, but they were like way younger then. That was a really good movie. It's on Pluto right now, actually, if anybody wants to check it out.
Okay. I was going more on like Bram Stoker's Dracula and the more fantasy part of it.
Dracula was good. I've seen one of the newer remakes of that one. I did like that. The newer one that's in the theater right now, somebody said they fell asleep to.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. And I'm like, maybe I don't want to go watch that one then.
No.
Which is very annoying for me because I love all things vampire. I don't even care if it's even Abraham Lincoln Vampire
Yes.
Slayer. I was a
The
little mad
vampires.
at Twilight because I don't like my vampires sparkling in the sun. But
No.
if you make a boring vampire movie, there's a special place in hell reserved for you. Um, but back to
Yes.
the thing we talked about running, I think it was the last Halloween movie. My favorite part of the movie, and I screamed laughing in the theater, there was a young lady getting killed upstairs by Michael Myers, and the boyfriend comes out, and the little black kid runs down the stairs, and the boyfriend goes, "What's happening? Someone's up there killing her." He's like, "We gotta go help her." He goes, "If you go up there, you're gonna die." And he runs out of the house. And I'm like, that's what you're and of course, the boyfriend runs upstairs, and what happens?
He
died.
dies.
But the little black kid didn't because he ran out of the house.
That's
That was
main
a
survival rule
that was
number
a
one.
smart one right there.
That's main survival rule number one. When you see people running, you don't ask questions. You just run with them. You either running to something or running away from something.
Yep.
Exactly.
Jackson just brought up a good thing. What are the survival things you need to do in a horror movie? Number one, we already said don't look back. We know number two, don't make out and have sex. If you make out and have sex in the horror movie, you're gonna die.
Yeah, especially on the ones where they stab you right up through the bed. You know.
Jason did that. Yeah.
Don't run up the
don't-
stairs.
Yeah, and don't investigate strange noises.
Don't investigate the strange noises. Throw down things to create obstacles. Have your keys ready. If you hear screaming, don't go investigate that either. As well as also have a prerequisite route for escape ready. On top of that, this was another rule I had at school. You don't have to be fastest. You don't have to ever be the fastest person in a situation where it's like running for your life. You just got to be faster than the slowest people, know how to trip people, and jump over hurdles.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, also
Yeah.
run with the crowd. If you run by yourself, you're gonna be the one that gets caught.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Yeah,
All of the
definitely so.
Godzilla movies, you see them running down the road going Godzilla, Godzilla, and they're the ones that's getting killed.
Oh, okay, Russell. You just compared Michael Myers chasing you to a 70-foot lizard dinosaur thing knocking skyscrapers over. It's a
He is
big
a
difference.
kaiju.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I say a kid, I was probably 16 because I drove to the go see The Exorcist.
1902, right?
Yeah, that's it. And I'm telling you what, when that girl's head turned around backwards, I said, "Oh shit, this is it. I'm done. I'm out of here." Shit.
Yeah.
And I was with two other guys, and we didn't say a word on the way home. Everybody was just couldn't believe what they just saw. Huh? I like good exorcist movies too. The devil, you know.
The ones I can't stand are the ones with the obvious cliches because it's either A, going to be some close relative, that of which is scorned because of previous events, if not a generational curse. The ex boyfriend, that of which is over the ex because you left me and broke my heart. Now you can't have happiness. Or something else along the lines of some type of
Mhm.
possession. Because, like, a movie that of which I hold in high regards was like the first The Boy movie. Because at first it makes you think that there's some type of demonic entity, but it turns out that it's really their sociopathic son who's living in the walls of the house, killing off all the nannies that he doesn't like.
That is such a good movie, though. I like it. Good one. And Jamarcus said Smile too, and the other one, You're Next. Those are really good movies, and I like them. Have you guys seen those ones?
Mm-mm. I haven't seen your next.
That's a good one. Yeah, and Smile too was really like cringy.
Okay, what do you do when you get that phone call and it says, you know, do you like scary movies?
Oh,
Okay.
And then
yes.
come to find out he's in the house. Yeah.
Why did you leave your house unlocked for somebody to infiltrate it in the first place?
Well, I don't
Then you
know, but he's in
lock
the
the
house.
back
He can
door.
have it.
Right. Then you got to go lock the back door, lock the front door, lock the patio door, make sure that all of your windows aren't able to be jimmied open. I'm just like, first of all, why is the security in your house so jeopardizable, like easily? Make that make sense. And then on top of it, your home security system ain't even worth it. What's the point?
It's
Yeah.
the false security. It's the false security of living in a nice neighborhood. Okay, because none of these scariest movie happen in the hood, do they? Because there's
Not
plenty
really.
of there's plenty of guns and everything's locked up. Locked
That's a
like there's
lie. You remember?
deadbolts.
Nah, that's a lie. You remember Leprechaun from the Hood?
Okay, we're talking about one or two movies out of 9,000, but no horror movie villains trying to get through a lock and three deadbolts and that thing that you jam up against the doorknob.
Jason did it.
He'd get through that. Yeah.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course he will,
You
but
know
that's not the
when
preference.
Hell, Freddy
It's
Krueger
easier.
came through the
It's
TV.
easier. It's easier to go to.
Yeah.
It's easier to go to Brooke's house and kill her than it is.
Everything's locked over here. I lock it all. Security arm at night. Like,
well, when I moved up where I live now, it's out in the country, and I'm on top of a hill, and one of the neighbors come and talk to me. Said, "Well, do you have guns?" I said, "Well, yeah, I got a few." Well, if someone pulls up in your front house in the middle of the night, you might want to get your gun ready. I said, "Well, the first thing that goes out the door, I had three American pit bulls, and I said, whatever's left of their ass, they get to keep.
Yep.
I don't care, I just send the dogs out first."
Exactly.
Oh,
No.
Another good one that of which can necessarily be fully accounted for because you never know of as to what to expect is all of the Saw movies. I love those.
See, those are the ones that really give me the nightmares. Because that's just
I
mind
was just about to say that.
games.
My friend just said that the difference in those type of movies is because you're not expecting Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy Krueger in real life, but the stuff that happens in like the Saw movies that can actually happen,
Hmm.
yep.
especially with people who have those kind of minds. There's also like three different types. You have the horror movie that's of course scary, and then you have the one that it's not really scary; it's just more gory than scary, and then you have the one that's just I don't know, that just leaves a eerie disgust. Like for instance, The Hills Have Eyes doesn't scare me; it just freaks me out.
Yeah. Yes.
Agreed. Yes.
Honestly, yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, they
14
really did
Ghosts
need.
was like
They
that
really
too.
And
did
Michael
need. They really did need to put in that scene where the Hills Have Highs inbred people were kind of doing that thing to that lady, and then in the next movie they show her having a baby. I didn't need to see that.
Mm, mm-mm.
no,
And then if you watch all of the like debunkings, like, oh, this is what I would have done in those situations. Who is thinking about all of that stuff in the moment?
exactly.
No.
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 You got me in the middle of Lord knows where. You'd have pulled me out of my house or out of my car in the dead of night. I have no idea how long I've been unconscious. I don't even know when the last time I ate or had water was. Oh, not the Terrifier.
Yeah,
Jamal,
those are gross. Those are gory, gross.
I watched the second one with my friend where it was Christmas themed. The beginning was so traumatic. I'm just like, not the little boy in his bedroom. That poor child. That whole family just in the dead of night.
You always get the ones that are least expecting it.
Honestly. Because the sad part about that was
Well,
he thought it was his sister in his room, and it wasn't. It was the damn clown.
See, that's what I can't watch them with clowns in it. No, like it that
well, clowns are all right.
not the
It was
ones
really
on
good.
it.
Even the
No, not the
remake
ones
of
on
it's
it.
really good.
Now, see, I play a clown character, and I'm a nice clown. I run around on my little motorcycle and give candy to kids and everything, and when I'm in parades, and they all, hey, Mr. Clown, they like me. I'm not the scary one, though.
Right, right.
There's so many different memes about it specifically. Like all these people talking about some, you would never catch me going down into no sewer. And then he's up here enticing them with all of this different stuff. Like, I got a bottle of Don Julio down here. Your baby girl they're talking to that girl you don't like. They halfway down the sewer before he even finishes the sentence.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Mr.
didn't think
Ohio
so.
says the number one proven method to surviving a horror movie is to have some airheads. Um,
Like the candy?
no, not the
no.
candy. I guess I don't know what that means.
Like
Does that
the,
mean because if you're around
I think
airheaded
the
people?
the ditzy people, like the
that's
Yeah,
what I was getting ready
yeah.
to say.
Oh, so you know what you do?
So they can get killed
Because you
first,
should never split up, right? But they always do that, number one. But what
right?
you should do if you do split up, it's like, all right, I'll take you, and you come with me, and then you pick all their heads. You four, you go that way.
But you ever notice how it's always the people of color that get left behind? They even said that in Scary Movie, talking about, so why is it every time some scary stuff happening, we supposed to stick together? Y'all always say, let's split up. He was like, you're right. You two, come with me. Then he just did it anyway.
that was on The Cabin in the Woods. Love that movie.
Okay.
That happened in there.
So what you're saying is, Jackson, is you ain't going to be by yourself going nowhere, right?
Hold of you to assume I would ever be in the instance where a horror movie would be happening anyway. Y'all talking about y'all going to a weekend in the cabin in the woods? Have fun. I will not be in attendance.
He's not gonna get that far.
Try not to get murdered. I'll see you if you live.
Oh,
So,
What about
Russell,
the
what
Chucky
would,
movies?
oh, Chucky? Okay,
Yes.
so
oh, I can't
my
stand. I
little
can't stand
sister
them.
can kick rocks. That's number one because that Chucky movie came out. I don't know why my mom thought it was a good idea to get me a My Buddy. Okay. So I was so scared of that My Buddy doll, I put it in the chair across from my bed. And like when you're a little kid, you sleep with your eyes wide open and you won't close them. So
Mm,
eventually I'd fall asleep and then my eyes would pop open and the damn doll was gone. So now you know what I'm thinking. My doll is out there killing people at night because when I wake up in the morning, it's there again. Come to find out, my sister would wait till I fell asleep and then she'd go get it so she could sleep with it and then put it back before I woke up. So that mind game was messing me up.
oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
definitely.
You
I
had a
didn't like
mean
having my
sister.
dolls out for that reason.
She wanted to sleep with it.
Yeah, Russell, I don't think she was doing it. She had no idea I was in fear. She just was trying to, it was a new toy and she wanted to be the one to
Yeah,
have
you.
it.
If it was my sister, they'd go, "Yeah, I got this for Russell. Let me hide this thing from
I've
him."
got this weird headcanon image of my mind of just little Coyote picking up the My Buddy doll. It's just like, "Are you alive?" And it whispers back, "No."
Oh, I could. I know my sisters would do it to me.
I think we would too.
Oh no, my older
There were
brother
six of us.
boogeyman.
Because I was literally, and I guess maybe I should have been a little stronger because I was 10 years old when that movie came out. The first, wow, that's crazy how time flies. I was 10 freaking years old when the first Chucky movie came out. I'm 46 now. Dang. So,
I
but
was
Russell,
6.
how did y'all get scared when you were 10? Because those silent movies must have been, crazy.
I'm not going to say what I was thinking right then.
Oh, you should. You should exactly say it. We won't get demonetized. Say it. Say it.
I was a little bit older than that, but I mean a little bit. I watched the vampire movies and stuff on Saturday nights with my mom, and
Nosferatu?
she was do what?
Nosferatu?
Well, the ones with if I can think of his name, he's a regular vampire back when I was a kid, and he was so mean. His eyes and them teeth open up, and my mom, I'll tell you, I was talking about my sisters would do it to me. My mom would sit over and I'd sit by the couch and I'd have the blanket up like this, covering my face and watching the show. And about the time it got to the good part, she'd scream. I'd jump out of the couch and I was running over trying to find her. And I was, why are you doing that to me? She goes, because it's funny watching you jump.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
franchise I could like never get a grip on was the Resident Evil series because that could like literally happen at any given interval. My older cousins and brothers and everybody literally played the video games and watched all the movies, and I was like, "You mean to tell me a pharmaceutical company did all of this?" Every time my mom had to take me to the pharmacy, I was like, "Are y'all in there making viruses?"
Those are good. The
They
remakes they've
are.
done recently are killer.
Oh my
They
goodness!
based them off the games.
Finally, the remakes of the
Yeah.
games when I'm actually playing them are so good, but like having to do all the puzzles in the originals one must have been a timepiece thing.
Somebody sent
Yeah.
this to me and they said, "Look at the evolution of vampires."
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've seen that one on the right there in plenty of movies. You
That's
know,
most
that was one of them silent movies there, I think.
Yeah.
But you got to watch it. I mean, I'm
What about the
I'm
scary
trying
ones
to
that are made out to be funny?
like Once Bitten.
Yeah.
With Jim
You know,
Carrey.
yeah,
Beetlejuice.
bites him in right there in the inside of his leg, so it wouldn't show. Yep, that was a good one.
not the once bitten. I'm trying to think. When did that even come out?
Which one?
Once
I'm
Once
bitten.
bitten.
terrible with dates.
I thought that was like in the 90s.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't
Like
even alive.
early 90s. I was only like 3.
Well, I'm a little bit older than you guys, just a little
Oh,
bit.
85. I wasn't even alive either.
I was
Well,
3. That's
I
old.
was born all the way back in 1955, so I've been around a while. Matter of fact, I'm going to have a birthday in a couple of months.
Ooh.
Oh.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna be a whopping 70 years old if I make it that far. That's what I keep telling my kids. I just want to live long enough to spend your inheritance. That's all I want to do.
One thing that I like wanted to see was the heretic. You know how those door to door like missionaries and everything go. Like, have you talked about the Lord and Savior recently? And he's just like, you know what? Come inside. And then the two girls get trapped in his house and they have to go through all these different mazes and tasks and stuff. I was like, that actually looks really good. Like that would be actually like nerve wracking. I
Watch
need.
it, Jackson. I rented it off Amazon not long ago.
Was it?
Very good.
I'm gonna
Okay.
take your recommendation for it, Brooke. I'm gonna get back to you.
Check
Yeah,
it out.
for real.
Well, me and my
And Hugh
daughter go to.
Grant playing that kind of part was like, whoa. Because he's always romantic comedies.
Yeah.
My daughter finally got a guy that would go to the scary movies with her. She would call me up and say, "Dad, can you go with me?" Nobody will go with me. I said, "Sure, I'll go."
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
but
Good.
now she's got a boyfriend that I mean, shoot, they ought to get over it. I mean, she's 40 years old. He's 40. They ought to be able to go together.
That's sweet. Another good one that of which like literally shocked me that like actually probably does happen out there was the black phone. Not only does it have the supernatural aspect, but it's literally just, a child kidnapper. So the
Yes.
main thing is like the kids of like the previous like kidnappings and everything, their spirits still inhabit the basement. So they're using the black phone to communicate with the current inhabitant. He's just like he wants you to mess up. Don't screw up like we did and you'll live. And I'm just like, this is like so like ethereal. Like you would never expect something like this to happen. But even still, he made it out in one piece.
That is good. Definitely.
I recommend the Black Phone to anybody that has not watched it already. It is good.
Okay.
Check
You
it
ever
out.
watch
Yes.
the or was it Final
Final Destination?
Destination? Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Who's
can't
still
think of.
scared to drive behind a lumber truck to this day? I know I am.
Yep.
But
That
the
was the
one
best
guy,
one. That was the second.
the one guy that I enjoy listening to is the black guy that plays the mortuary guy. I can't think of
Yeah.
his name,
He's
but
deceased.
is he really? I didn't know that.
Man, he just recently passed away like a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken.
But
Dang.
he's got the kind of voice that when he says them things, he said, "Death is not going to be, fooled. He coming back after you." He was right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Tony Todd. He just died November 6th.
Is
Okay.
that right? I didn't know. Well, I hadn't heard that yet.
Rest his
Yep.
soul.
He
Yes.
was 69.
You
Jesus,
know,
that's young.
joke off
I,
Yeah.
that.
I am so immature, and the way
Don't
Brooke
you do
said
it.
that was like she knew that anyone that was immature was going to latch on to that. She just kind of threw that out there. He's 69, and she just stuck the landing.
No, because Russell's 69. He's
I'm
turning
Okay,
69.
70.
I didn't need the imagery, Brooke.
Let's
Like,
change the
Hey,
subject of
hey,
this trail.
Wait, no, I love Jenny. Brooke is so pure and innocent. I love how she's clearly uh confused right now. And I
well,
think
Marcus one, he's bringing a lot. Burn Break, Candyman,
Yes.
Oh,
Autopsy of
yeah.
a King Joe. Those are
I,
all.
first of all, anything where here we were talking about horror movie survival. If they say don't say the name 3 times, why are you saying it? Uh,
Yes.
watch this and you'll die. I don't need to watch it. And one of the creepiest ones that I saw, sometimes those cheap movies are the creepiest. I think it was called Smile,
Mm.
the one where it was a mannequin that has this really creepy smile, and if you lay eyes on it, once you turn around and look back, it's closer, and it keeps moving
Keone, it's
closer
actually
until it
called
kills you.
Don't Look Away.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's why
what
I
it's
said
called.
Weeping
Don't
Angels. That
Smile
makes
was something
sense.
different. I'm sorry. Don't Look Away is what it was.
Because like you
Yeah,
have to keep eyes
that's
on it at all
that's
times.
on Tubi if anybody wants to watch it right now.
What have you marked
Another,
too? I don't know.
yeah,
Have
what is
any of
it?
you seen Don't Look Away?
I haven't
Hmm
watched it. I
I
can't.
did.
Mm-mm.
I just
It,
had it on.
mm.
The
I think
Conjurings weren't that great either. Like they had me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
You said
I
The
don't.
Conjuring.
Yeah.
What about the subset that plays on like the lack of senses, like Don't Breathe, the Bird Box, as well as also A Quiet Place? Like you can't see, if you look at it, you die, or even the fact of the matter that you're not able to like audibly hear, or if you make a noise, you die. It's just like, wow, like that is so insane. How do you navigate the world now that you're deprived of a certain type of sense? Like,
Oh, I'm dying.
Well, here's the
I'm dying.
thing. The ones where you can't look is something because there are people who could see and they eventually go blind, you'll adapt, right? I think the if I had to say what was the worst out of all of them, it would be the sound one. Having to exist without making a sound. And yes, I can go without talking if I have to because it'll kill me. But like when she stepped on that nail, yeah, I'm probably gonna scream.
Yeah. Yep.
she was resilient because not only did she step on the nail, she did it while going through contractions and entering labor. I'm just like, that has to be some of the most painstaking amounts of trauma that your body could enter. And you have to deal with it all by yourself because her husband wasn't there. But so she flicked on the lights to say, it's time.
I'm gonna give a kudos to women. I think that works because it's amazing what you do when mommy instincts kick in, whether the baby is born or not. We've seen women turn superhuman and lift cars, and we've seen her step on a nail because she knows baby's gone if she screams. But as a guy, I don't have mama instincts, so me and the baby gonna be dead.
I mean, you say that, but the little boy stepped in a bear trap in the second movie and he stayed quiet.
There are some injuries that seem worse. Listen, I'd rather get shot in the leg than get a really bad paper cut. Okay.
That's understandable. Yes.
I mean, you're not wrong because when you get shot, your adrenaline boost and you don't necessarily feel it up until you actually sit down in order to dress it.
All I know is I've had so many different surgeries. I've come to the conclusion it's a good thing that I wasn't in the middle of the Vietnam War or World War II and got captured. Because when they'd start torturing me, I'd make stories up. I'd tell them anything they wanted to hear. Because me and pain don't get along.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh,
And
I see, Russell. So you're a snitch.
so what?
You're a snitch.
I didn't say I'd snitch on anybody. I just tell them anything they want to hear. I
He's
told
saying
them I'd
mixed up.
make up stories. I'd tell them the name of my firstborn, the whole 9 yards. Tell them anything. That nurse come in there after I had my knee surgery and looked at me, and I was in pain. She goes, "Are you going to have your other knee done?" I said, "Hell no! I'll die with this broke down sucker." I said, "I ain't doing this again."
Mm.
Not the knee surgery.
No.
Hey, knee is one of the most painful ones. That's what I was trying to tell John there. Take care of those damn knees because knee replacement sucks.
I
Okay,
was gonna
first of
say,
all, don't be shouting over the internet. First of all, my name's Keone, but don't be shouting over the internet anything about my knees because people have perceptions. Okay.
yeah,
Well, you
everybody
didn't.
didn't realize, Keone had to go through something recently. He was breaking it down a little bit too hard in the club, trying to do the Dougie.
Oh goodness.
In a what?
Actually, I was doing the stanky leg. Thank you. And I stankied a little too hard, and the leg gave out.
He ain't got big knees like he used to. Found footage horror movies go hard. Those really do, especially when you like get the recent bit of the foot. Because the part that they did where they like interviewed and everything for like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie specifically, and then it turns out the killer was still in the house in the basement, and then the cameraman and the police officer both got. I was like, nope. This is the reason that's why we don't go investigate your stuff after people say, hey, there's a killer family over here. Somebody needs to go do something about it. Just burn the house down with the people still inside it.
That's
Yeah.
that thing where
For
they're
real.
talking about, like Jenny and I were saying that if it can happen for real, it. You remember Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though that was more comical.
It
Remember
was.
when I think Jason? It was the part where he went into the campground and he started killing people, and they got away in the van. And then they were like, "What are we gonna do about Freddy Krueger?" And that guy was like, F that dream guy. This guy right here is pretty effing real. Like, can we deal with this problem that's right in front of us? It is crazy. And then somebody mentioned Brightburn earlier.
Mhm.
That was the best evil Superman movie ever. But they had to be a little smarter. That dad shot him in the back of the head. I would have immediately said, "I knew it, son. I knew you had superpowers." He just started saying, "I'm sorry" and all that. I'm like, "Yeah, you're dead."
Mhm.
It's a wrap. Hang it up. I hope you signed your life insurance policy.
Yeah. And then any horror movie that involves creatures, because it's like you can physically fight someone trying to kill you, but how do you physically fight like creatures with claws and sharp teeth and
Like
Ooh,
Predator.
or
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers.
oh, Jeepers Creepers? I
I
don't know
hated
why
that.
that had me so scared. Why'd you hate that one, Jenny?
Cause I mean it was a corny song to it or theme music behind it, and then it was just some people that just country bumpkins, I guess, if you want to call it or be politically correct, just killing people and then stuffing their bodies in a fucking cave or freaking cave. Sorry. So it's just it's something that can happen, but it's to me it's not
Wait,
necessarily horror. It's just mass murder. Like you're just witnessing mass murder. Like that's all it is. It wasn't scary up until you heard that song. Jeepers
Jenny, are
Creepers.
we talking
That's it.
about the same movie?
Huh?
Are we talking about the same movie?
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers.
The one with the weird scarecrow entity that's in the field up until a certain part of the year, and then he goes on a killing spree, taking body parts from people to implement them into his own thing, and then he keeps going after more people up until he has to go
Okay.
dormant.
Okay, so what's the one with the huge truck and he's on the road and he's killing people?
That's the same one.
That's the same one, but that was like a different adaptation of it because he's not only trapping them in the car after that, but then he's also going after the people on the bus.
That's part two, Jackson. Jeepers Creepers 2. And she's talking about the first.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched the first one. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
Oh, watch the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was like putting all of them in like Brooke, wasn't it like a cave or something where it was
In the
nothing but
tunnel
people?
beneath the church.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke, how are you just an encyclopedia of horror movie novels?
She is seriously.
They're so good.
Okay.
Have you seen Darkness Falls? It's from like 2005. It's the evil tooth fairy one. That freaked us all out because we were really young.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's a good one.
Brooke, pop quiz. Who was the killer in the first Friday the 13th movie?
Jason's mom, Mrs. Voorhees.
Okay, she got that one.
That's also a quiz question on Scream. Drew Barrymore, when she's on the phone, she got it wrong. Have you guys seen the Scream movies? Those are good.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jason's
No,
mother.
so I mute myself when I'm not commenting so that when the phone goes off, because you guys know what I do for a living and how this phone goes off every 2 seconds. It's already done that in there.
Right.
Teeth ninja stars.
Yes, he turned human teeth into ninja stars. That's how he immobilized the bus in the second movie. Was he threw a ninja star at the tire, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Really, is this tire like beyond repair? We don't have a spare, but what the hell is this thing lodged in it? Like this is made out of human bone."
This one right here. So it's that the Joyride messed me up a little bit too. Oh, what's the one? I think it's called The Hitchhiker, where they don't pick up that guy and give him a ride, and then they run into him at
Hitchhiker,
the
yep.
gas station. Is that
Yep.
the Hitchhiker? That one
Yep.
messed me up too. It's like when that family rode by and he was in the back playing, you're like, no, he's gonna
He
kill
had the
all of them,
stuffed
even
animal
the
up and
kids.
he put it, yeah.
Yeah, he killed even the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're bad when they kill the kids too, when they don't discriminate.
Yep.
Non-discrimination is something, but no, my mom used that as like a singular instance as well as something that happened on a military base to never pick up hitchhikers. Because apparently my cousins and my older brothers at one point in time put their thumbs up while she was driving past them and she kept going on and it was raining. And they were like, "Why didn't you pick us up? You saw us on the side of the road." She said, "After what happened on the base, I don't pick up no hitchhikers." And I don't know whether or not this was before or after that movie came out, but no, somebody made the mistake of picking up a hitchhiker and brought them on base for some reason, and they ended up slaughtering a whole barracks worth of soldiers. And I was like, yeah, no hitchhikers ever. That's something I can never do.
No, not doing it. Mm-mm. That just scared me from it. Nope.
If they got that thumb up, leave them where they at.
What about I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I don't even remember what I did last
I
summer.
love those. Sarah Michelle Gellar and
Yes.
yeah, Freddie
A lot of
Prinze
old-
Jr. Yeah.
They shouldn't have done it. That's all I can say.
Well, no, they shouldn't have done it, but then it comes back to haunt them too. So
Nobody necessarily plans to run somebody over is the thing. Unless you're restoring facts, then it's excusable. But even still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Wrong Turn already?
No, I was going to say that earlier though.
Oh, Wrong Turn. You know what I'm gonna
First
like
one.
in when I download this live later and we do the edited, because we're putting all of these images and videos and clips in here, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yes.
But Wrong Turn, any this is also the ones that get me because it's probably why I'll never live in the country. It's always the ones where you live in an isolated house and your neighbor's like 12 miles away, and that seems great. But then in the horror movie, there's no one to hear you scream, as the cliche goes.
Which one was it? Brooke, back me up on this. It was this writer, but she was deaf. And she
Yes,
lived in
that's
the
the exact one I'm thinking about. I cannot remember
Right.
the name.
And her boyfriend came out to like visit her or whatever, and she was talking to her sister over FaceTime, and then the guy just happened to cut her internet, so she wasn't able to call for help or anything.
Yeah.
Who was up there tormenting her the whole time?
What is the name of that movie? Is it Hush? No.
Yes, it is. It is Hush. That's
No,
Hush.
it is Hush. It is Hush. I have a live crowd in my room watching this. So they've been yelling out names and stuff this whole time.
Nice.
So that's-
Perfect. We love a live
And-
audience. Can we get some
Yeah.
canned laughter?
Can you get some what?
Some canned laughter.
Some can. No, it's real people. Go ahead, laugh, guys.
You're kind of like a goat.
What the hell was that?
A goat.
Oh my god!
Mm.
This was performed in front of a live studio audience.
You know what else is a good horror movie? The documentary on my career. That's a horror movie. Sheesh, don't watch it. If you want to be scared, it's like birth, and then it's all downhill from there.
Which part is the scariest, the ending or the beginning?
Well, damn, Jackson, there's no ending yet, but Angelina says The Last House on the Left is the only scary movie that actually turns my stomach when the girl puts the guy's hand in the garbage. Oh, yeah, those kind of things. Yeah.
What
And
was
some horror movies are just plain disgusting. I don't know who watched this movie, but I literally got through 7.5 seconds of Human Centipede, and I was good.
Ew, no. Yeah. My Aunt Debbie watched that. It made me, ew,
Okay.
no.
So,
Yeah.
Russell, I know you have no idea what that movie is.
No.
So I'm going to put you on the screen because I want to get your reaction. I'm not going to show it to you because it's so disgusting. So where is Big Russ? There's Big Russ. Okay, Russell. So let me explain how this movie opens, right? The
Okay.
movie opens and you hear grunting noise. And then as the camera pans, this guy took people. So like he took Brooke and then he sewed Jackson's mouth to Brooke's butt. And then he sewed Jenny's and then he
I'm
sewed
sorry.
and then he
I'm trying to
sewed
picture this in my mind.
Don't picture that.
Then he sewed Jenny's mouth to Jackson's butt. Then he sews my mouth to Jenny's butt. And it goes on. Every time he captures somebody, he sews their mouth to the next person's butthole. And the only person who gets fed is the first person, Brooke. She gets all the food. And then
And she's got to supply everybody else, right?
yes.
Oh
And
God.
it's dog food, but that's not that she's getting. Let's not be sad for Brooke. She's getting dog food. What are we all getting?
Uh, uh, uh,
South Park had this weird elaborative explanation of as to how they were like, oh yeah, if you click on accept for the iTunes policy of privacy and TOS and everything, you hereby give us the legal consent to give you a singular digestive tract combined with three other, if not plus, individuals. And everybody was just like, well, why don't you read the terms of service? And I'm just instantly thinking,
I'm going to click on decline.
who is doing that? Just no. Like, it inspired me to think I needed to read the terms of service. But then again, who's going to sit there and read those long pages worth of text in order to see all of the fine print?
Marcus, I'm sorry. Majarka says no. The guy was in front. I didn't know because I told you I got through 7 seconds of the movie. I don't want to watch people pooping in each other's mouth.
No,
I was done, so I'm sorry I didn't know the guy was in front.
Please,
I
please.
I would it would have been a very painful experience to me because my mouth is getting ripped open because I that's not happening.
Uh-uh.
Russell thinks that's
Right.
so
I'm
funny.
still picturing that in my mind.
Why?
No. What is wrong with you?
You're
Russell's
the one
going
that
to
put
type
it in
that
there.
in here after the show and look.
Brooke, was
Oh.
it silent?
Oh, my crowd said Hostel. That Hostel movie made sure that if I go overseas, I'm only staying in hotels. I'm never staying at
Oh
a
yeah.
hostel,
Yes.
even though they're supposed to be
Yes.
okay. Uh, Laugh my, it's a classic. No, Humor Centipede is not a classic. I hope that's not what you were talking about. That is not a classic. It's disgusting.
It's not a classic, but it did change the direction for most horror movies to go in because it's taking advantage of the human anatomy is the thing. Like, what was it? Where that one killer was kidnapping people in order to take certain body parts out of them in order to put into a cadaver or whatever because he was trying to recreate his mom.
That's yeah, but that's I don't think that's the barometer. That's just still totally different because we've seen that happen before. Serial killers that take part. Heck, that happens in real life.
Mhm.
Um, but Human Centipede just hits different.
What about
Just
the fly?
ooh, the original
Classic.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
or the Jeff
The
Goldblum one.
end for that poor guy to land in the spider web. Toast.
Well,
Help
isn't
me,
it?
Sam.
Well, isn't it amazing how we Jackson was just talking about the evolution of scary movies on how sometimes the simpler things would scare you, but now it's getting harder and harder and harder to scare people. Because I can remember being little and being creeped out by the Omen, the original Omen, or the Birds. I did when I was a kid and I saw the Birds and I saw what would happen when all those blackbirds would come on the poles. I ran in the house, thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, I didn't.
Then I
Mm-mm.
got yelled at because we were supposed to not come inside the house yet. So it was either
You're not wrong
yeah.
about that. A murderer
Not
crows
until the
intelligence.
light poles came on.
Yeah, well, we had that room, which is so. I used to get so mad. I don't know if it happens a lot now, but you guys are all around my age, Brooke. I don't know if this was a thing when you were a kid. Our parents had that room. It was a living room a lot. You can't go in it. You can't touch anything. And I'm like, why is it here? It's the first thing in the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
My grandma had a white carpet living room. Couldn't go in it.
Mm.
Right. I didn't necessarily have that in my house particularly, but my older brother does with like my sister-in-law as well as my niece. So like after you come in through the front door, if you turn to the right, the hallway leads directly into the kitchen, but off to the right side is what they call the family room and it's directly connected to their dining room. But the family room is where they put the Christmas tree up and everything. And everything in there is set in such an intricate way. You're not supposed to go in there and touch it unless you actually have family over. Like you're not allowed in that room. The living room is off
Why
to
would
the
you torture yourself? Not you, Jackson, but why would I don't know why anybody would torture themselves with a white carpet room.
I don't know. It's the oddest thing ever. I'm just like, all of the decorations and the furniture in this one room are so beautiful and elaborate. And I'm just like, and you don't want people in there unless it's like time for the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all of that.
You know what
Yeah.
else amazes me on horror movies when someone is in a standard two-story home, it turns into a maze for some reason. It's not that difficult to navigate a two-floor house. Okay,
Well, and
like
it's supposed to be your own house too, so you should know where you're going to get out.
Is that like? Oh, is that what when a stranger calls? I think somebody Russell, you alluded to that earlier when you said the call is coming from inside the house kind
Right.
of deal. Uh, I don't know. What do you do? So, like we talked about when things happen for real. So this has happened in Black Mirror, but it's happened in a couple of other um, movies. Like for instance, phone booth, getting that call where you really can't do anything because people are going to die if you don't listen to the guy on the phone.
Right.
Or if you're on your computer and you get that email says open this email or your life is ruined, and then you open it and they've been looking through your web camera and they have stuff that you've probably been doing that you don't want everybody to see. And I think there's a movie coming out with Anthony Hopkins where he locks in a thief and he does that.
Oh
That
yeah.
stuff, yeah,
Mhm.
that stuff is crazy to me. What would you do, Brooke, if you get that email that says open or your life is ruined? Because if you ignore it, they keep emailing it to you, and then they find a way to put on your screen a video of you being compromised or some picture you don't need everybody to see. So now you're forced to go open that email, and then it's all
Yeah,
downhill
because
from there.
I probably wouldn't have even opened it to begin with. That like that one movie Chain Reaction where they get those emails for each person and they kill them off. Like they tied the one lady to their cars, one leg on one car, one leg on another car. So when they pulled out, it split the person.
Or that weird movie Unfriended where they were all on Skype and the spirit of that girl that they bullied was up there harassing them and somehow getting them to all
Yes,
off themselves.
yes.
Isn't that some similar to the Ring where they had to watch that video or something?
Well, see,
5
that's
days
the
after you
difference.
watched it, she
See,
killed you.
that's
Yes.
the difference. They didn't have to do it. That was my point earlier. Like, why are you watching this movie? I want to find out how Jackson died. No, I
Now,
don't want to find out how Jackson died.
the thing with the Ring movie is like it's a chain reaction. So let's just so happen to say Jenny got me to watch the video. I'm gonna die in 7 days if I don't get Brooke to watch the video. Then Brooke has to get somebody else to watch the video, so on and so forth. Otherwise, the last person that watched the video on the seventh day, you die. So you have to get somebody else to watch the tape in order to save your own life. And you can't destroy the tape no matter what. It comes back, it duplicates itself, it mass produces itself for whatever reason.
That's the thing. I can't live with myself if I trick Jenny into watching this movie just so I don't die. And now she has to. Well, I guess it'll end at Russell because Russell won't figure out how to work the damn DVD player.
It's the
See?
scary part about it because somebody
Now wait
always
a minute.
watches the tape.
I can work a DVD player. I just can't work these damn computers.
It's the scariest thing about it though, because somebody always picks up the thread. Like, let's just so happen to say, Keone, you don't want to watch the tape or give it to somebody. When they go to investigate your house after somebody's like, hey, it's been forever since we've seen him. Where's he at? They find you dead. They find this tape. They want to see what's on the tape. Guess what? The chain reaction has started all over again.
Yeah, it's the same thing in Don't Look Away. The chain reaction and Don't Look Away because you had to get someone else to look at that mannequin and now it was their problem. So I think Brooke, correct me if I'm wrong, the way the chain ended the first time was the guy that took his eyes out. Yep, and that's
Yes.
how we stopped it. He took his eyes out and he locked the mannequin in a box. And
And he was having it
where was
shipped to
he
him.
having it? Where was he was having it shipped to his home so he could put it there and it could never harm anyone else. Their home was
Be
like
seen
out,
again.
yeah, their home was out in the middle of nowhere, but of course there was an accident and the driver that crashed looked in the box and then it started it all over again.
It's always got to be something. It can't never be nothing.
Yeah. So the guy met the teenagers or the group of friends that it was happening to now, and he offered his assistance because he knows how to get rid of it. So he came there with the guise of helping them get rid of it, but what he was actually going to do is murder all of them because no one else had seen it.
Mm. Mm.
It's on Pluto for free.
So
You
now
can
they have
watch
two
it.
problems on their hand. They have a mannequin that's trying to kill him, and they have a human that's trying to kill him. It's like
Actually, it's on Tubi, guys. If anybody has Tubi for free.
Hellraiser. That's the movie I was looking for. That one. Whatever you do, don't touch the box.
Oh,
Hellraiser. Oh, those are ones. My friend said Hellraisers. So I'm not big on. I almost said I'm not big on penetration. That's a lie. I'm not big on people being cut, stabs, and knife things. So Hellraiser screwed me up because just watching hooks getting placed into people, that's enough for me. And their skin being pulled apart, I'm just like Hellraiser. I two things I couldn't do when I was little: Hellraiser, and then there was. I bet you it's silly to watch now, but there was the guy with the puppets, Puppet Master.
Yeah.
Puppet Master was so creepy to me. Um, and then the one where the cats, they say the cats take your breath. Um, I can't remember. Oh, Pet Cemetery.
That one.
That's
See,
a
that
good
was
one.
that was more or less funny to me, I guess. I don't know.
Pet Cemetery?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Okay, you got to tell me why it was funny, Jenny.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like the Scream ones, or I don't know. I just it's not something that can actually really happen. I guess like
You sure about that?
a dead cat's gonna take my breath away.
No, I was mixing up two movies with the breath away, but the Pet Cemetery, you burying the pet and it coming back to life, or a human one. But I see what you're saying. Like I used to get as I got older, I got mad at the Chucky movies. I'm like, kick that damn doll across the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't work as easily as you think it is because remember, he's enhanced by voodoo. He's got the strength of a full grown man and the size of a toddler, but times 10.
Yeah, and I have a 13-inch foot, and I also have an oven that comes on.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, but nah. My friend tried to say the easiest way to survive and solve the scream issue is because even the killer says, "Oh, the reason I started killing people was because you wouldn't sleep with me." She was like, "Girl, if you don't go sleep with that man," she was like, "If you don't do it, I'll do it." I was like, "Really? That's not gonna solve the issue." I think he's a little too far gone for that now.
It's always the shock thing. Like for instance, if we're in a horror movie, us five, we all know Brooke's the killer. We all know it. It's either going to be Brooke or Jenny. It's not going to be Jackson because it's normally not the black guy. It's not going to be Russ because he's there for the audience to be sad when he finally gets off. It's either Brooke because she's going to act like the damsel in distress the whole time, but it's really her. And Jenny's going to have that thing where she's all nice and she's easy on the eyes, but when she finally reveals that she's evil, her face is going to look batshit crazy.
I'm the Sour Patch.
Sour, sweet, then gone.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brooke. You're not it. It's Jenny. She's the killer.
That's the thing. Nowadays, you've got those one singular characters that everybody's just like, you're weird because you've got all this extensive knowledge and like this weird, like unfathomable subject. That's Brooke. Because she could be up there. Wait a minute, guys, we need to be careful. Because this is right around the part of as to where the climax and the turning point happens in the story. And then
Yep.
it's not of as to who we really think it is. And we all look at Brooke like she's crazy, like, why do you know this?
Because she's the one that keeps luring everybody down to that campsite.
Yep.
Yep.
Aha.
Majarkis says, "How about Late Night with the Devil?" I haven't seen that
I
one.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
That's a good one.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah. Fear Street series.
Remember Tales from the Crypt?
Oh, I
Oh, yeah.
love that.
There was
I just
some in
tried
there.
looking for that. It's not on anymore.
There's some in there that were crazy, but then again, the ones that get me are the ones where it seems like you shouldn't be scared. I remember there was one on a lake, and it was like this oil slick that everybody was getting killed by, and I'm like, and it reminded me of something that would be if you saw it, it would be. If you think about it, if you saw it in real life, it would be frightening. Can you imagine seeing the blob headed towards you?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Another
Just
movie says,
lure him into an icebox.
yeah,
Did
another
you
movie.
say lure? Wait. Did you say lure him into an ice box?
Yeah, when he freezes up, he can't move.
I know, but if I'm just running down the street, how do I know where a dang ice box is?
Well,
Where,
any
Oh,
big,
you'll run into
you know,
the nearest restaurant and try to get
no.
him to chase you into the freezer, but then you can get cornered into the freezer. I don't know. It's crazy.
everybody
Well,
remember the Piranha series?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that threw me for such a loop because I'm just like, first of all, you mean to tell me that there's this prehistoric species of piranhas that which is just out there somewhere. But on top of that, piranhas are vultures. They don't eat
Mhm.
living things. They only go after things that are already dead.
Yeah.
It like is weird because it's also like Jaws. It literally made people stop going to the beaches. It made people stop wanting to get into like, fresh water. But I'm just like, that's not how that works. A piranha's not going to come after you unless you're already dead. Make that make sense. There's a lot of things out here in the horror movie genre that just doesn't sit right, but it's just for the fear factor, really.
Yeah.
Well, when
Anything dealing. Go ahead, Russ.
Jaws came out in 1975, so in that area, I was in the United States Navy in Rhode Island, and we used to go down to the beach and go swimming and stuff like that. And they in that movie they said most shark attacks were in 3 foot of water. Well, I was walking up to the shore, and the clams are in the sand like this, and I stepped on one that closed on my heel. You never seen a fat man run on water, but I was doing it that day. They
Really?
say
Russell should be in a movie as an evil Santa Claus.
They
Yes.
already
I
have
could
that.
do
Men in
that.
Black.
Another remake of Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, because you know what would make it creepier? He's not evil. Him doing that happy laugh while he's killing you would make it so much more sinister.
Yeah, I could go for that.
Oh, before my live audience leaves, do you guys want to give him another laugh?
What was that?
Laughs like a dolphin. Um, that first Jaws movie is what I was talking about. How something could be suspenseful because you didn't see the shark. It's no, that's not what I was gonna say. The music in Scary Movie makes a big difference, and I
Da-da,
always like how sometimes the jumpiest part is
da-da,
not even a scary part. Like
da-da.
they'll show some guy looking in his locker, and then the camera will zoom in, and then when they close the locker, his friend just pops out of nowhere and goes, "Hey!" and it makes you jump out of your damn seat, and it's not even like the scariest part of the movie.
Nope. Mm.
Because like even when I was going through school, we had to learn like you have major scale and then minor scale, especially when you correlate that to a situation. Whenever I hear minor scale music, it makes my hair stand up on it, and I'm just like, who did that? Like, what's about to happen? Why was the minor scale music played? Because it doesn't make any sense. There's something lurking around here, and I'm not trying to find out if that's what it is.
Brooke, what's the one with the twins at the end of the hallway?
Stephen King, The Shining.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one that creeps me out.
The one
It
with the
Yep.
murder
Can't do
backwards drum.
That's ridiculous. That's Nightmare City right there.
So the part when he sticks his head through the door and says, "Johnny's here,"
Yeah,
that
The
didn't
Shining.
creep you out?
No, it was them two little girls just at the end of the hallway, and no,
But speaking of that minor scale music, everybody should know this noise. I only need to hear that once and I'm gone.
Yeah.
There will be a puff of smoke where I used to be because of how fast I will have been moving. I'm sorry, Brooke, but somebody got to take one for the team. And it
Like
ain't
you
going to be
say, you just got to outrun the slowest one, right?
the slowest person to know how to trip people and jump over hurdles.
I agree. Everyone for themselves.
I'm gonna go to the car that don't start.
Speaking of cars, I'm happy you brought that up, Jenny. Always have your car keys ready. That's another thing because if you drop them, you might as well hang it up.
Yes. Yes.
I also pray that your starter
Well, I
turns
don't
on.
know. I have
Right.
a friend of mine that was in the tornado that came through Catoosa one year, and he was a police officer, and his car was sitting right outside his house, and he ran out there trying to get his keys in the lock because he didn't have the ones we got now. You just push the button. He says, you can't hit that little hole when you're scared.
No.
He
No.
just kept trying to get it in there and it wouldn't go.
Phrasing.
It's the
It is.
nerds.
I feel like there's another one because now, like, when did the trend? I feel like Keone can also elaborate on this. When did the trend of the people of color dying first happen? What movie was it that of which established that? Because there was one thing that of which the virgin always dies last, if not at all. The person of color dies first, and then you've also got the people in between that of which are a multitude of different demographics. I'm trying to think of the movie that of which established that, unless there's just been a Hollywood trope all this time.
Mm.
I don't know either. Guess what? Nobody can remember, huh?
Brooke, do you by chance have any insight?
Not on that, I don't.
Another one that I couldn't get over was Megan. That was a scary one.
Yes. Yes.
That little robot girl.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't want to mess with the other kid because she she handled it.
It's the fact of the matter that your boss told you to terminate the project and you didn't, and then you brought it home, and now your niece or your daughter or whoever is attached to it, and it's also attached to her. At that point, it's just a wrap. You can keep it. I don't want it anymore.
Well, that's like the AI movie with Will Smith, right? Where the robots start coming after the humans.
iRobot.
Yeah, there you go.
iRobot.
Yeah,
iRobot.
I don't know how many movies we need to talk about AI, Terminator, iRobot, um, Eagle Eye before we realize we're about to doom ourselves.
Yeah, for real.
Look, Google has control of your home.
It really does. I was up there talking about a singular concept and like thing with one of my friends. Next thing I know, I'm getting Google ads for it. I'm just like, can you please stop listening to my conversations?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that happens so much. That happens so much. Well, guys, this is a fun topic. Horror movies. I didn't think I was going to chime in that much because I don't watch a lot of horror movies because night terrors. But I remember when I used to watch them. I would always have to watch a horror movie, and I didn't notice till my dad told me. I was like, I didn't watch horror movies because I always had nightmares. He goes, well, when you were little, whenever we saw a horror movie, we'd always make you watch like Care Bears or Flintstones or something afterwards, and you wouldn't have a nightmare. So I've learned that if I don't watch a horror movie and I have a stressful day, I'm gonna have a nightmare. But if I watch a horror movie and I watch something like American Dad afterwards, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
You big
Gotta
baby.
get something to cushion the fall is the thing. But make sure that you all lock your doors and windows tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you all could picture one thing from the night, it's not 69. It's not human centipede. Everybody, make sure you picture Russell running on top of that damn water. Good night,
Right.
everybody.
That's
Good night.
listen. It'll